Alright, so another little update on the Corriva. Done a bit of a redesign, just a little bit, but we'll get into that in a second. I've changed a lot of the configuration that was stopping at the station. I've simplified it and made it so that it's more independent from the station. So now you can actually manually have it dock at any position where there is a 1 block gap on either side of the cart. So if there's a block above and bottom, it doesn't matter, but if there's nothing on the sides, then it'll stop there when the docking is enabled. But yeah, you can still go, and if you click slow and dock, you'll turn on sensors here. Let's just disable those, and this will slow you down to 5 meters per second, which is enough, is a slow enough speed to dock with any of those things. I don't know when the next open gap is in this. Oh, right here. So we'll stop right here, and it's nice and centered. You can walk in and out. There's still the issue of this gap to get up. I don't exactly have the best fix for this just yet, other than just sticking a mag pad to the bottom. But yeah, and then you can continue on, and we'll head on out of the tube here. Everything else is kind of working the same way as you would expect. Just some changes now. Let's get on out of here. Oh yeah, I did re-enable the run-out sensor. That's what was stopping me there. And I still, like, instinctively, when I'm driving my buttons here, I still instinctively want to press F to get out of the cockpit when I want to walk off. I keep catching myself pressing it, just thinking I'm in a cockpit. I don't need this anymore. Yeah, so this is the new design, and so basically I've split it into another cart, and this is the main control cart. So this is what interfaces with the printed, this is what interfaces with all the printed parts, and has most of the train logic on it. And then this is a dumb engine, which is just batteries, and I think there might be 1 timer block on it. No, I took it off. Yeah, it's just batteries and wheels. So this is, you can kind of put it in the train however you want. You'll need 1 engine plus 1 control cart. The control cart can go down by itself just fine, which is cool. It does the job. So you only need the engine if you're pushing a heavier load like this, or you are going completely vertical. I suspect the engine's going to be required. I don't think this many wheels will have enough to do completely vertical in gravity. Yeah, and then here's the tool cart. Pretty much the same thing here. The only thing we've changed is, instead of just having dolly wheels, I went to full surround wheels like everywhere else. It doesn't really matter, at least here, because these wheels are rarely going to be in contact if it's working. If it's driving down the tunnels and they're in contact. So even like when you turn the welder on, I have a timer block for welder on, and when you do that, it actually retracts these wheels up as much as it can. And the reason why is because these wheels can actually interfere with the placement of the block. So if it can't place the block, here, how can I explain, right? This is the 1 block to the side that it can weld. If it can't place this block because this wheel is in the way, then it has to wait until it gets farther so it can slow down the welding. By bringing this up, it kind of reduces that a little bit. They would not be in contact with the voxels anyways, so they wouldn't help to have them down. And yeah, you can see the hitch linkage is a little bit different. Just simplified. Tried to keep it shorter. It is. Do I have the old version of it somewhere? I guess not. I'll show you. It is a little bit longer. Come on. So you can see it is a tiny bit longer in total with the cart, but keep in mind when you look at it, you've got a whole additional kind of amount of wheels. So it's got a lot more braking power, it's got a lot more thrust power if you want to go fast or combat insane gravity. So I think it's worthwhile, and like I say, you can still just tile the engine if you need more power. And I have set it up so that all of these, the tool head, the engine, and the control cart are all remote control. So if you say, for example, you've got got this, and then it's, what is it? Oh man. Alright, whatever. This kind of works. Say you're trying to make a tunnel, make a corridor that goes like this, right? It's got this kind of sharp angle going upwards. In order to do that, if you're going with the full length, it's going to be pretty hard because you have to be able to get that full length in a straight plane, because there's no articulation, it can't bend. So by remote controlling everything, if you want, you can split these off and load them one by one into the corridor, which just kind of makes it a little bit easier to deploy in certain circumstances, which is nice. And of course, you can just jump into the seat here and go. If anybody knows, if there's a mod that lets you put a control block, like, or maybe even like, maybe that's what I can do. Can I add? No. Yeah, but if anybody knows, like, there's a mod that lets you put a control block in the toolbar for a seat, that would be great. That should be part of the base game. I don't know why it isn't. It aggravates me literally every time. Because why do I want to go into here and find this and then scroll down, click control? It's so annoying. Yeah, we can send into the tub. Kind of went over everything, and it's working pretty good. We can go up to, we're not even at full speed here, we're only at 50. I find 50 is the kind of the easy place to be. Going to 60, you get a lot more of the clunkies from the wheels, which doesn't sound as great. But I do quite like this seat location. Looks a little weird, but it makes for a nice view. Kind of lowers your height down a bit. And you can see here, we ran out of tube and we stopped just like before. No problem. Where am I? How did I even get out of here? I must have Oh, I must have entered, when I entered the seat, I must have not been on the platform. That's one thing you have to do is, when you enter this seat, you really want to be standing on the platform right there, so whenever you exit it, you're always inside the tube, or else sometimes you can just get ejected into the wild space outside the tube. Yeah, control cart. Oh man, I vaguely remember there being a way to do it. Either via a mod or just a setting that I'm missing. But it sure would be nice. But yeah, it seems to be working a lot better after this redesign. I still want to design a couple more carts, I think. There's a couple things I would like to change still. But so far, so good. Pull this right out of the tube. So one thing I have noticed is it is possible, particularly when you're trying to put this thing into the tube, because it is only got one gyro now. I might add another gyro, especially onto probably this drill portion somewhere, because this is what screws you up. But sometimes you get in on an angle and you'll rub these sides up. So I have noticed every once in a while I get a few damaged panels because I smacked into the side putting it into the tube. And you can even damage the cargo crates doing this. It's not happening anywhere else, I know that. It's only when you're entering and exiting the tube. It's just because it's so big. Oh, and I actually had the welder on that whole time, so those wheels weren't even engaged. Hold it off. But yeah, I think that's about where I'm gonna call it for this video. It's not, I mean, it's a lot changed, but there's not a whole lot different. It's a lot more modular. I'm still going to be using the train station. The only difference is now there only needs to be a single sensor, just to turn it into slow and dock mode. And the distance between that sensor and the dock that you want to stop at can be shorter now. So it's just going to make these smaller once they get around to redesigning. The particulars of how the station has to change now that the design has changed. And the nice thing about the way about doing it is this way is, before, how it was docking at the station was dependent on it being a single engine cart and a single tool cart. So as soon as you only went with one cart or 3 carts, it wouldn't dock as correctly anymore. And this way, it's always going to dock predictably. This cart docks where there's that specific side-to-side gap. So it's a little more predictable. It's easier to add a station. Like if you want just to stop halfway through your track for whatever reason, you don't even have to create a station. You can just grind out one of the corridors and remember to turn on this slow and dock to reduce your speed whenever you're coming up to that exit. So it's just way more modular now, and almost complete. Yeah.